Hello, this is Dylan Miller on Daily Dose of Dylan, Google Podcast, Spotify, Spreaker, or iHeartRadio. This is Dylan Miller on Daily Dose of Dylan. We got some good stuff today. Obviously, I'm going to show you the other half of the podcast I had yesterday. And, I will talk about the NBA playoffs, really. That's something that I talk today. Alright, so, the CFP, college football program, is recommending a 12-team playoff. To me, this is great. I think this is great. I think you get rid of all those out-of-conference games because it takes away the quality, you know? And now there are going to be better games more often. With the NFL, I just think all those out-of-conference games aren't very smart, you know? I really just think they're stupid. I mean, I don't think it doesn't... I think the game is better when you, when you include, in-conference games. I think it just makes it more entertaining. Alright. So, this is pointless now, but what I said yesterday was, if Harden's out game 3, which he was, Bucks gotta win. Because if they don't, it basically seals Budenholzer's fate. That's just my opinion. But they did win. But I mean, I think if you lose the series, you blow it up. I really do. You blow it up. I mean, you keep Giannis, but you fire the coach and everything, you know? So, that's what my opinion was if they lost. But, they didn't lose. So, they're in a better position, but I don't think that was it's gonna sound weird, but I thought it was kind of a bad win in a sense. And it's weird. I normally never say that. I'm always normally a win's a win, kind of. You know, that's normally my mentality. But I don't know how I feel about last night. All right, so Matt Nagy said that Justin Fields has a rip your heart mentality. By the way, I heard Dalton threw 3 picks. But I've said this. I think Dalton starts week 1 and then is quickly benched. If he threw 3 picks, the guy's a veteran, first of all. He threw 3 picks at practice. Fields had a good practice, apparently. So, and the way Matt Nagy described him, it sounded like he has a lot of good traits for a quarterback. Rip your heart out, hard work ethic. He has all those stuff. And a lot of those stuff were things that were questions for him when he, was going into the draft. But, I think he can start very sooner rather than later. Because Dalton seems to be struggling, but he seems to be flourishing. So, all right. So apparently, Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul, the fight they had, sold 1 million pay-per-view buys. And the weird thing is, I said before the fight that, dumb people are intrigued by this, now I'm the dumb person. Because I'm surprisingly intrigued by this right now. I mean, I did not expect it to be this entertaining, but it is. It's good for the sport, really. Logan Paul and Jake Paul. It makes it a lot more entertaining. So, really good for boxing there. Alright, now we are into what today would have been. The Clippers are down 0-2. And, I don't know if I really like the Clippers in the series. I think I said they would win before, but I'm definitely off that bandwagon right now. They are down 2-0 right now. Last night, really wasn't a bad game for any of them. Let's look. Hold on. They shot, 47% from field, 37% from three. More rebounds, more assists, more steals, less turnovers. This was just a chemistry thing. Chemistry beats talent. I mean, Reggie Jackson played well. Paul George played well. Kawhi was a little off. But guess what it was? It was the role players. And I said, don't underestimate the role players. And that was a problem in the first two games against the Mavericks. The role players not step in. So let's look at this. There were 3 people that scored over 20. There were 0 people that scored more than 10 other than those 3 people. Only Reggie Jackson, Kawhi, and Paul George scored over 10 points. The supporting cast did not step in. So that was definitely a problem there for Kawhi and the Clippers, So they got to fix that up. They got a lot of... Their chemistry is not good. They have 0 team chemistry. And I now think that that's going to be their downfall. I think Jazz and the Suns, the 2 teams that were called into question before the playoffs, they were like, are they legit? I think these 2 teams now meet in the Western Conference Finals. Because the Suns look very good, up 2-0, and the Jazz seem in control of the series. Alright. So, KD and PJ Tucker got into it, and they were separated, and apparently the security guard, KD's security guard, by the way, I think he made it worse, because it looked like it was kind of toning down a bit, but then this guy just jumped in and shoved PJ Tucker. That just made it worse, I just think that made it a lot worse. I'm sorry, can you guys hear me? Oh, you can't. You probably couldn't hear me there. If you couldn't, basically what I said was, but KD's security guard made that a lot worse than it had to be. But you don't jump into a toned down argument, and that's what I hate when people do that. It, really pisses me off. It really does, because it's like, the argument's done, and then they just jump in for their, and I hate, especially when it's a verbal argument. If it's physical, some people just like to step in and try to break it up, I guess. Even though he shouldn't have done that, but I hate when it's verbal and people just people that were completely unrelated to the argument just try to throw in their 2 cents. It's annoying to me. You know? Like, they have to throw in their 2 cents on the argument, even though it doesn't have anything to do with them. It just really... I just don't like that at all. But, alright, finally. Wilson looks good in OTAs. Zach Wilson, apparently. And, you know, the thing is, he doesn't have a bad roster. He could win a couple games, like 5-11. Or, 5-12. But the problem is that he's in a division with Bill Belichick, possibly the best coach ever. Brian Flores, one of the best coaches in the league. Sean McDermott, one of the best coaches in the league. And he has Robert Saleh, a rookie coach that hasn't proven himself at all. So he has a chance, but he's in a tough division. He's going to have a tough go for a bit. But if he looks on OTAs, then, you know, I think he'll do fine. You know, eventually. But, I mean, right now it's not going to work out. Because his division is too tough. So Kyrie had 0 field goal attempts in the final 4 minutes last night. And this is why I think Brooklyn's going to be great, but very briefly. The Nets, they have 3 of the best players ever. Or not ever, 3 of the best players in the league. 2 of the best scorers ever. And possibly the most explosive offensive player in the league in Kyrie Irving. You know, and they possibly have the best player in the league right now in Kevin Durant. So, I mean, they're going to be great. They're going to win the championship. The question is, how long will it last? And with the egos on this team, Harden is not going to keep that assist game forever. He's going to want to go back. And I don't blame him, because he's one of the most gifted scorers this league has ever seen. He won 3 straight scoring titles. And KD did too. So they have 3 of the best scorers, the 2 of the best scorers ever. And, you know, Harden's going to want to go back to that, and that's where the dysfunction is going to start. I think Harden's the core of this team. I think the fact that he's kind of backing off, I think that's why it worked. Like, because I think if he went in with the same mentality in Houston, which is give me the ball, it would not have worked. But he decided to shift his game to passing, and he did well. But he's going to go back to it, and that's where it's going to fall. That's where they're going to fall off. Alright. So, the Clippers kind of collapsed in the final quarter yesterday. And here's the thing. It's their leader. It's Kawhi. If your star player, the personality of the team, like, the team becomes their star player. If their star player is like Jordan, they're going to be hardworking. They're going to work harder than everyone else. Or like Kobe, for that matter. If it's Magic or LeBron, the team's going to be, you know, moving the ball around a bit, you know, kind of not as hardworking as Kobe and Michael Jordan, but they're going to be hardworking, but a lot more selfless than the two of them were. If you're Kawhi Leonard, you're going to be weird. You're going to be an enigma. And you're going to be quiet, you know? If you don't communicate, you have bad chemistry. Chemistry beats talent. You know, they have some people play, and then, like, Beverly plays, but Rondo doesn't.